Hello everyone, my name is Nabihah Iqbal and this is my third video for the Wide Rainbow Residency. Thanks to everyone who's watched the previous two, and I hope you've enjoyed finding out a little bit about who I am and what I do as a musician. The topic for today's video is going to be kind of dissecting one of my tracks and analysing it a little bit. The track I've chosen is called Zone 1 to 6000 and it features on my debut album Weighing of the Heart, which was released in December 2017 on a label called Ninja Tune, and it's the most popular track from the album. I've been receiving loads of really enthusiastic and positive messages from people who enjoy listening to the song. Before we get into any further discussion, I think it'll be a good idea to take a listen to the track. So here it is, along with the music video, which was directed by Oliver Mallin.
We wander through each other's lives just like the rivers, constant flow and signs of life in all our eyes. Keep this city on the go. Escape on Friday, get caught on Monday. The sun will rise, the sun will set. 7 days, 5 and 2, from this life into the next. We're all just trying to make it through. We're all just trying to make it through. How the crowds emerge at night, transported through the underground, searching for that one delight, glimpsed in dreams but rarely found. It's always work and never love.
That was my track Zone 1 to 6000, along with the music video that I made with a director friend of mine, Oliver Mallin. We shot it all in London, which makes sense because the song is about London too. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I made the song and different elements of it and what the inspiration was for the track. When I think back to where I was in the studio when the idea actually came to me, I remember I think I came up with the opening chords that you hear right at the beginning of the song. that was the first thing I came up with, and to me it felt quite emotive, and so I thought, okay, this is a good starting point. And then I think I was just listening to those chords on loop, on repeat, over and over again, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the song, what kind of vocals I wanted to put on. And then I don't know how, but I got the idea of basing it loosely on a poem called London by William Blake, and he's one of my favourite poets. He was around during the 18th century, and he is a Londoner, born and bred, just like me. And his poem London is pretty famous, and I studied it when I was younger at school as well. And so I pulled out that poem. I keep a lot of poetry in my studio actually, just in case I need some extra inspiration and I feel like I've reached a mental block. So anyway, so I got the poem out and I read through it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and make my own sort of like 21st century version of what it means to be a Londoner and London life. And anyone who knows the poem, when they listen to my track, they'll straight away hear the kind of play on words. For example, the opening lines of the poem are, I wandered through each chartered street, like the chartered Thames does flow. And then my first lines were, we wander through each other's lives just like the river's constant flow, and so on and so forth. As you go through the song, you'll also hear how it measures up with the poem. So yeah, I set about writing the lyrics just to that chord progression. I hadn't done anything else, and you know, it was a good moment in the studio. It was one of those sort of epiphanies, you know, where you just, something comes together and you just know that this is going to turn out to be a track that you really like. But it takes hours and hours of work to get to that point. So I don't know how many hours beforehand I was trying to write stuff and then deleting it and then starting again. But anyway, I got to this point, and I remember it was about 11 o'clock at night. I ended up staying in the studio all night and went home at sunrise, because during that time, I don't know, I was just in the zone and the ideas were coming to me. So I stayed in there, pretty much wrote all the lyrics down in one go, and then I also decided to, I like the repetition that you hear in the original poem, so you have some of that throughout my track as well, and it just keeps kind of like feeding back the same message that you're trying to get across through the lyrics and the music. It's quite fast-paced as well, to reflect the fast-paced nature of city life in London. But then when you get to the middle of the track, there's a breakdown, and then it kind of shifts into the second half of the track, where the lyrical structure changes slightly, and it becomes more sort of like, I guess, introspective. But yeah, I think it still works really well, and it still means a lot and is relevant to the subject matter of being, I don't know, I guess the feeling of sometimes being alone in a huge city full of millions of people, and the kind of like anonymity that comes with that, and feeling unsure about things and all that kind of stuff. And then, so my friend Oliver, who's an artist as well and a director, he suggested directing a music video for the track, and I thought that was a great idea. And so we shot it around various locations in London. It was really, really cold that whole time when we were shooting, and I just remember just like being outdoors and not being able to feel my hands, but we had to just keep going. And I love how the video turned out in the end, and it was all Oliver's work, but you know, we kind of went back and forth on ideas, and I just love how it looks, and I hope you love it too. And I feel like it really does the music justice. You know, the idea of making a music video to enhance what you're already trying to say and what the music is already communicating is really important, and I think that we managed it with this one. I really love performing the track live as well, because it's a weird feeling when you're working in the studio and you're making your own music. It's very isolated. Like, I did everything on my album myself, so it was very much a solo project, and you have no idea how people will receive the music. But then once I started playing gigs and performing the album live, it was amazing to see people singing along to all the words and just knowing all of them. And yeah, I can't really explain what that feels like, but it was a very nice feeling, and it still is. I hope that my brief explanation about how I created this track and you know, how it first came together provides you with a little bit of inspiration for trying to maybe do something similar. It might be an interesting exercise to actually take a poem which you really love and think about, you know, the subject matter of that poem, what's it trying to say, how you relate to it, and then starting to write your own lyrics based on the ideas within that poem. I find then that can really help if you're a little bit stuck, or if you're, you know, new to writing lyrics, or you feel like you haven't got any ideas. It's a good place to start. And then also, if you're working with, you know, if you're making music, just coming up with an opening that really draws the listener in. It's so important because, I mean, in this day and age, everyone's attention spans are already so low. So you really need to like communicate what you're trying to say, or the essence of the song, really within the first few seconds. And I think if you can do that, then you're off to a good start. So try and give it a go. Thanks for watching. This is the third video, and I'll be back again with the final video for this March residence with Wide Rainbow very soon.